learning to work full-time. Now, currently, I'm not technically full-time with one job. I actually have two jobs at the moment, which I've had this sort of status of having two jobs at the moment for like the past year. One's at a golf course and the other one's at a printer shop. And the reason why I'm making this video is sort of giving you my insights to how I have learnt how to just ease into full-time work, because it's not really the same with school. Even though school sort of it was full-time, amounting about to 6 hours a day for 5 days a week, it's not really the same as working a full-time job. And also in this video talking about, as you would all know, I'm aspiring to be an entrepreneur, how working a full-time job and actually working isn't bad as most of the other entrepreneurs or the other hustlers might turn it out to be, but I'll explain later in a bit. So learning to do a full-time job, because for myself, having recently graduated from high school, and I was discussing it with a friend who didn't want to go to university as well as me, about how it sort of is tricky to go from going from school where you go learn 6 subjects a week, so you're becoming very generalistic with your work, to then going into the workplace into a very specific, not narrow, I'd say more specific knowledge kind of work. It's a change, because instead of 6 hours or 6 hours a day on 4 subjects a day, you spend it on technically one for 8 hours a day. And that change for some might not be easy, because to go from working to then having to work, for me, that change, it was being comfortable with knowing I have to just clock in and clock out. Not to say you want to be a slave to the 9 to 5, but use it more as a tool for you to accelerate your financial growth. Or it just seems like more of a tangent, but see it as more of an opportunity of consistent capital raising. Again, this is like specific terms here, but use it the 9 to 5 to fuel your dreams. Like, it's temporary. Don't see it as a permanent position, but see it as a way for you to learn how to arrive on time, how to interact with your co-workers, how to interact with customers, how to basically be disciplined in your work, to just sit there for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, but also learning how to do all of that. On top of that, your own learning, self-development, growth, fitness, all doing that. Because I think what I find the hardest part is learning how to be okay with being busy. Because I feel like I had a discussion with the same friend who didn't want to go to high school. He's currently having a full-time role at a meat factory. How it's learning how to, because I always felt like I had to have that 6 hours a day, having been programmed from school, 6 hours a day, and then the rest of the days like leisure time. But I'm learning to have it so I'm okay working basically morning shift at my one job and then afternoon shift at my other job during the evening or in the morning. Like right now, I do my productive work, all the stuff that in my own time, my own self-development, where the rest of the day is done learning new skills on the job or earning an income. So that's where I'm currently at with my learning journey, because I know for sure I'm going to get a full-time role at another job doing sales. So this is sort of like the preliminary taste tester or skill to learn. It's to learn how to do that 9 to 5. And then on to my next point on not demonizing the 9 to 5. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur, you should see it as more as a stepping stone to your journey, it should be a means to an end, not your actual end. Because truly, the sort of plan I've got is learn how to sell, do that full time. In my own time, learn new skills, marketing, copywriting, maybe even start a side hustle, whatever. But have the main goal or mission be learning how to sell on the job. So that 9 to 5 gives me the opportunity to learn that wealth income generating skill, high income skill. So for you, because I've had this mindset before of I just want to go straight into I want to own an agency, I want to go straight into that e-com brand, rather than understanding there's a transition to it. There's going to be a transition from when you still have your job, your e-com brand or agency or whatever internet business side hustle is just on the side, starting to take off. Then it's starting to make more money than your income working full time. Then it's actually a switch from full time from your job to full time to your side hustle, to your business. Because truly, if you're the end goal of having a business and becoming an entrepreneur is for you to sit next to the beach leisurely doing nothing and relaxing all day, that's I've learned it's sort of, no, I don't want to say terrible life. It's like there's seasons for relaxation and seasons for work. And for an entrepreneur, I think your best environment to be in is when you're working, not all the time, but when you're creating products, when you're creating something out of nothing, when you're being creative, when you're solving problems. That's where you are at your best as an entrepreneur. Because as entrepreneurs, we solve problems and then we get rewarded by the market. We get rewarded by customers and other people for helping them. So to think, I'm just going to have this side hustle, it's going to take care of itself. I could just drink pina coladas beside the beach. It's like, that's the sort of wrong mentality. Like, it's not a switch, because that's sort of the problem I saw with like Hustlers University, having done it, was I sort of implied they demonized the 9 to 5, they demonized you having a normal job, which is, again, I arguably say, sure, demonize it if you want it to be the end rather than means to an end, or a temporary step in your stage in your entrepreneurial journey. But they wanted you to go straight from quit everything, go straight into your side hustle. This is like, that's not how it works. You got to transition into it. Like Luke Belmar says, you got to transition from a peasant to a king. Feel the transition. That's where most of the growth happens. It's through the transition, and having that mindset of I'm okay with dealing with the process and being patient with it. So that was my issue. But again, the 9 to 5 should be or full-time work should be your opportunity to learn to actually work all the time, because that's what's going to happen when you have a business. You're going to be almost working most of the time, working on a business that you find meaningful and purposeful, and not really relaxing, traveling all day. Like I said, it's the seasons. You might work 10 months out of the 12 months of the year and spend 2 months on holidays, whatever. Having that wealth and financial freedom, you get to choose to do that. But again, if you have this idea that it's all about relaxation, start now by getting a full-time job so you can learn how to work all day for 5 days a week, and then on top of that, do your personal development, because that's a worthy skill of having, is being able to juggle and manage your time and energy on the important things ultimately towards your own goal. So that's currently where I'm at with my journey, learning how to have a full-time job. Well, technically 2 casual roles, which in total give me a full-time hours. It's just learning how to be busy, learning that it's okay to actually work. It's okay. I don't have to spend all my time relaxing or spend all my time not personal developing, but I find myself in the trap of because what used to happen is 4 hours I work and then the rest of the day I relax. Like, nah, man, I've got other hours. I could probably, because currently we've got is sweat equity, like our own labor. So I might as well use my free time and trade it in for hourly wage to learn a skill that will eventually give me compound interest and dividends later in my journey. Like, it's about thinking long term. So hopefully all this tangent and all discussions of 9 to 5 or not transitioning and being okay with working full time. I hope it gives you value as much as it has given me learning these lessons. So thank you for watching.